What a do, what a do. KayBoss here. And I hope y'all doing superb. What is this? What are we looking at? We're doing a new game review. The game review that we're going to go over today will be for Top Girl, which you can find on your mobile app stores, whether it's Apple, and I believe obviously it's on Android because I'm on Android. And so I am going to start doing review on strategy games based on the commercials you have to watch as a free-to-play player. And the reason why I developed this system is because I've played these games for the last 10 years, and I've played pretty much all of them that were popular. So I'm kind of looking for the ones that are not completely saturated. Looking for the newest, hottest ones, and this one came across my my desk, and as I was playing another game and going over that, I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and do the review. So, 10 things to look for, right? First one is game mechanics. Second one is graphics and visual design. Next one is audio, story and narration, progression system, monetization model, replayability, multiplayer functions, updates and developer support, accessible options, and there's 3 things you should avoid, which are expensive ads, pay-to-win mechanics, and technical issues. Now,
what is you complaining about? If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me.
I'd like to go over the things that I do not like first. I haven't had to do many ads on here because, like I said, I think once you find games that are not as large or as popular, they have less of the commercials. I haven't had to do too many on here to open up stuff, so that's something that I can't say that this is a bad game for. It doesn't have ads. There's so it's not really a dislike. It's just that's part of the 3 things to avoid. And so there hasn't been too many ads that I had to watch in order to get something. And my impact on the experience of the game, it really hasn't impacted me at all. Like I said, there's not a real big push for it yet. Once it gets popular, I'm pretty sure it will. The second one is pay-to-win mechanics. Now, is there unfair advantage for paying players that imbalances the game? As a person who spent thousands of dollars on this types of games, I can tell you that the pay-to-win model, if you have the money, it's not a bad deal. However, there's a lot of people that do not spend money. And so as of late, I haven't been spending the monies that I normally would spend on these games to get to the top echelons of your server or planet or whatever, however you call it. They call it servers here. And so that's something that I'm going to tread lightly on because I don't want to discourage any free-to-play players. But let me break it down to you. The real world, okay? In the real world, everything has a cost. And the more money you have, the more access you gain. That's just life. Deal with it. It's called consumerism. Capitalists, or business and finance, the whole kit and caboodle, right? You can't go somewhere without spending some money. Now, do you want to spend it on something that you don't own? It's up to you. It's disposable. Money's a tool. It's not a save-all, be-all. So, let me tell you about the disadvantages. If you do not spend at least 4 hours a day on this game, or in any game anyway, if you don't spend at least 4 hours, then any free-to-play player is going to have problems. There's always going to be someone out to try to get your stuff. There's always going to be someone out there that's going to attack you because you're over there sitting on a nest egg that you're over here trying to save up so you can get to the next thing, and you'll get blown away. So it does cause turnover. Now, I don't think this game has had this much action, but 4 days in the game, people are already crying about, oh, you guys pay to win, guys always just pick on the little guy. Of course, they're not going to pick on somebody their size and fight someone their own size, lose a whole bunch of troops, and lose a lot of money. So, who are you gonna pick? Someone has to be the steps, and someone has to be the step on it, right? So, which one do you want to be? Take that for what you want. Now, I have only spent $1 on this game. The only reason why I did that so I can put my avatars, so I can change my display. But other than that, haven't done it. So, the other imbalances of the game, I haven't experienced it yet because I'm just big enough to where it's going to hurt you and you're going to have to rally and lose out of troops. This particular game, you have to rally at the beginning stages. Not everybody, but most people are considerably the same size. Now, I have time to do this all day. I have time to check it every hour. I also have timers and I have alerts and I have alarms. So I don't have that problem. I do know that people that only get on once in a while a day, like maybe for 15-20 minutes in the day, and then you're done, and then, oh yeah, I got to get back on the game. So let me give you the gist of it. I've always told everyone in the gaming community, especially you free-to-play players, the strategy. So let me just give you a basic rundown of the basics. You should always get with a group that is the largest that you can compete with. Meaning, you can do free-to-play, you're active, extremely active, you're sociable, you communicate well, and you talk to people. And you're always on the up and up with folks as a free-to-play player. If you come in with a stinky-ass attitude where nobody wants to be around you, well, you're going to get a whole bunch of problems. And that's just the name of the game. That's the bargain that you play, or you pick him. So, do I think that this has an imbalance? I don't think there's a game on here that has an imbalance. Are there people who spend a lot of money and have a lot of power? As long as they're not complete dickheads, and I say that loosely because women can be dickheads too, but very rare do you find too many women that are. And then there's a lot of guys posing as women on the game to get men to buy them stuff. It's weird. Anyway, that's another rabbit hole. But just make sure you align yourself with an alliance or a group, in this case, that is doing well, that you can be protected, so that way you are safe from being just straight annihilated. So that's what free-to-play players need. You need paid players on your team so that way they can keep people from getting on your ass, so to speak. I haven't ran. The next topic is technical issues. I haven't had any yet, so I don't know how well the support team is. But I've played many of games that have absolutely no support whatsoever, and nothing but problems. And if there's a server issue, or in this case, if there is an issue with, let's say, the game mechanics, or you didn't get your purchase. I don't know, because I haven't had that issue. And most people who play free-to-play don't really worry about that. The only people that really need the technical support are the people who are spending thousands of dollars. Let's put it that way. And so if you're that type of person, they can see it in your account. They're, oh, yeah, we'll help that person. They're spending hundreds thousands of dollars, you know. There's people that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on these types of games. Those people are going to get helped. That's just, once again, if you got it, you got it. It gives you access. That's what money is. It's a tool to gain you access to things. So as far as the technical support, I haven't had an issue. There hasn't been too many crashes, and there hasn't been too many freezing of the game. I haven't had that issue. So at least they have that. And it's, like I said, it's fairly new, probably like a year, maybe a little less than a year. But now they're starting to promote it. And like every other commercial I was seeing, it was this game. And if I see that commercial back to back to back 4 times in a row when you do your free-to-play stuff on other games, if I see it back to back to back to back, it's going to draw me interested. And that's what got me into the game. Not to mention looking at these ladies. You know. Are you supposed to be... You could touch them and they jiggle. Hold on. See? Ooh. Oh my. Oh my. These are all your little love interests. Ooh, that one's a nice one. That one's kind of weird. So they're all different. So anyway, back to the game itself. If you're into that kind of stuff, it's pretty cool. So there hasn't been any freezes on that point. So let's get back into the 10 things to look for. Game mechanics. So let's go out into the game. Now, the game mechanics, I can tell you that the controls are lacking. And what I mean by the controls, if you play these types of games, it doesn't have the attractiveness of being able to move on the instant. It's a single base target. You go after it, and you can only go forward and back. You can't go from one spot to another spot to another spot, change position, move, finger pointing, you know, where you're able to do, you know, with the little mechanics. It has to go straight to point A to point B. But the performance is rather smooth. There's no lacking. You can control your game mechanics here where you have graphic quality. Now, I leave mine on high for a reason. I notice if you have it on low, you're going to have snags. And this one is super grainy. And it just doesn't look attractive, to be honest with you. So as far as the smoothness and the performance is pretty good. And there's no real features that I can say that I've played a lot of these games, so I know there's vastly better games. But like I said, this is in probably like a year, maybe a year and a half of the game's existence. So I think they're just getting their feet wet. The next thing is graphic and visual design. Like I said, it's just really basic. There's no real... I think it will get better once they start making some money. That's just how things work, you know, bettering their product and whatnot. So there's a lot of things to be left desired. So if you're into cool graphics, this is not the one for you. Animation quality, like I said, I don't think it's bad, but that's not why I'm interested in this game, to be honest with you. The next thing is the sound and audio, sound effects, background music, voice acting. Now, I have mine off. The thing I don't like about this is that you can only control one volume. So you know how one will have the music effect and then the other one has the sound effect? This is all encompassing. I do like the fact that it plays very good mood music, and it has multiple different values of songs. So I think it has like 3 or 4 songs. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really paid attention to it because I've always had it off. But it's very uplifting. It's actually, I think that's probably one of the game's aspect. Like, you could probably leave this running throughout the day. And I think it's a loop. But for me, I leave it off just because I don't know. I'm weird about music like that. Sometimes I think, like, especially if you say something about a game and they don't like you, they'll hit you with a copyright strike. So I kind of take the music off. So the audio quality is fine, but if you're looking for where you can just turn off the music but you want to hear the sound, they come hand in hand. So that's something I'm not a fan of. So the story and narration, narrative. Now this one actually has a lot of multifunctional things going on. And as I keep going into the game and start bringing out some stuff, some of the things that I do like about the game, the key factor is I do stocks anyway in real life, and this has a stock options with certain things, and this is like the IPOs and stuff like that. I really do enjoy that. So now you're looking at, there's a few more other ones that are countdown. What's this? But you could do some finagling on this, which makes it quite interesting. So I like the stock exchange on there. That's probably one of the coolest points on there, and I can just do a whole section on that. I'm still working out the kinks and the bugs, so I don't really want to go too far into it. As far as the plot is that you're a CEO of a large not ad agency, but a modeling group and music group. So you're kind of like a mogul, and the females are very interested to you because, you know, obviously they want to further their career, or they actually think you're hot. Now, this doesn't ask if you're a man or a woman, so it kind of is unisex in that capacity. There's a lot of women that play this game, which I thought was kind of interesting. But like I was saying earlier, sometimes they might be dudes anyway. I don't want to get started on that. Anyhow, as far as that goes, I think there's a little bit left to be desired on the plot. It's extensive, and I'll go over that on a different video. But I think it's actually not a bad little storyline, and it's an ego boost for sure, especially if you're into that. So progress system, the character players, upgrades and stuff like that. You do have to upgrade your different harem of ladies. There's no men in this, so you have all female models and or singers, actually singers, dancers, and models. But most of them they have different function and have different factions. Like when you get here, they have these different core groups of individual females that it helps you understand a little bit more. So it's kind of like, you know, you have your dance side, and then there's 4 main factors, which you have the sexy, you have the hip hop. She has sexy. This one's R&B. This one's pop. That's sexy. And then you have cute girl. Then you have rock. I think I did that one already. Yeah, hip hop. There's the other one, EDM, excuse me. And then you have elegant. Oops. So you have all these different factions. I won't bore you with it yet, but I'm still learning what does what, so I don't really know too much about it. Like I said, I'm only 4 games in. But You do have unlockable characters that you have to spend money on. So you have those types. And to be honest with you, they're very inexpensive compared to what I've seen in the past. You'll get these types of players here. The SSRs, and then you have the Rs, and then, what was it again? Like I said, I'm still learning. You have the Rs, SRs, and then you have the SSRs. Excuse me. And these are the teams that they're on. So, all in all, I mean, as far as heroes, based on certain characters, hold on. So, like when you first meet them, and then as you communicate with during the game, they start to get less clothes. And so there's certain characters that have certain heroes that I know the ones that have clothes that disappear are the more fashionable characters, and they have a little bit of an edge versus other characters on here. So there is some good technology going there. There's some good relevance, but I think the main factor is, hey, the girl's taking off their clothes. Now they don't get completely naked, but let me just show you some messages, okay? You get pictures like that, and you interact with them. It interacts with you when it's prompted to. But yeah, as you can see, this game is, if you're an old person like myself, I remember when video games were on Atari. My very first Atari was Atari 1600 that came out in 1970. Ooh, I'm aging myself. 75-ish. I think Atari came out in 75. I don't know. But Pong, and now almost 50 years later, look at our video games. They got scandalously dressed women, provocateurs to get you to spend some money. So if you're into looking at AI, computer generated pictures, like I am, cool. Yeah, it is what it is. You can call me a dirty old man, but at least I'm allowed to look at this and not get in trouble. The monetization model, free to play versus paid. I think I went over it a little bit, but let me just give you the synopsis. I can't say, because I haven't spent money on it yet. All I can tell you is that I'm in the top 200, and I think there's at least about 600 people on this server. Hold on. I forgot where the leaderboard is, so bear with me. Yeah. This is kind of like the leaderboard, but as you can see, I'm at 183rd place, and I'm not spending any money at all. So as you can see, the vast difference in where I'm at to where the top, I'm not going to be at the top. I can tell you, if I did spend like I normally would spend, I'd probably be up there in the top. I would say 3. But that's neither here or there. Now, can you have a good time with this game? Sure. If you're free to play, and like I said, you're lining yourself with the right alliance. If you're free to play, it makes a vast difference. And just in general, more activity. Now, I'm the leader of my group here. Just because, like I said, I'm on my own schedule. I don't need to. I'm here to review the game. I might continue playing, but I switch games so often that the reviews are probably going to be my more ticket into the gaming kind of situation. Now, would I continue to play this just to play it? Yeah, sure, to check out the ladies. But as far as free to play, I think this is I can't say it's less expensive than any other game. I think they have a lot of packs that are very low to get you in. Like they have a lot of $1.99s, $2. So if you spend $20 on the game, you could do quite well at the beginning. Now I don't know what it looks like once you start spending big bucks, but I can just imagine based off of what I've done in the past that it can't be any more different. This is what I would say to anybody, from a whale down to the free to play that doesn't spend any money. Make sure that you have a budget and don't go over your budget. And if your budget is not spending any money, plan on spending more time. So if you're a free to play player that has time, I don't know too many free to play players that have the time that it takes, like myself, because like I said, this is what I do full time. I have the time just to keep up. No one's gonna put in more hours than me in a large sitting, like 8 hours in a day, like a regular work day. That's what you have to do to maintain what I got going on. And I got 2 accounts going on at the same time because I have to have 2. And that's the other thing I was gonna say. You are able to excuse me. You're able to switch players, but you can't have them in the same same server. However, you can make 2 accounts, and then you can actually adjust once you do here. So when you go here, you can see which ones you can go into, and none of them are full. But I would strongly encourage you not to. Now I'm in 700. Yeah. It doesn't show it, but I'd be right here. So they're getting a lot of people, but as you know, most games like this, once someone gets attacked religiously, you will end up quitting and try to find a different game. So, to all my free-to-play players, don't get discouraged. Get yourself in with a good group. That's all I can tell you. Replayability. Now, does it have replayability? Yes. Depending on, like I said again, depending on what kind of group you're with. If you're with a strong group or alliance or guild, whatever we call it, a faction, and you have potable resources and you have a lot of experience within your alliance, then it could be a really good experience. If you're the type of person that needs human interaction to a certain extent where you can talk to other people, that's what these games are all about, is creating a community of the people that you're around. And I'm not engaging that way. I'm nice to people, but my personality, to be honest with you, I'm more sit back and read what people are saying, check out things, check out the, not just being nosy, and knowing how to spot a dickhead is a talent that I've amassed through the years. And so when people are just straight shit versus people that are cool beans, right? But for the most part, to rise up in levels, there's definitely a playability because there is no shields on the game. Meaning you can't save or shield yourself or put up any kind of blocks from someone taking that booty. You're going to get bent over the coals if you're not big enough. However, if you have an active group of people, they can reinforce. The thing that I will say that I don't like very much, that I'm so used to, is that you actually lose, and they don't have troops. Like you have cav, or you'll have you have your tanks, or you have your air, and then you have your soldier infantry. It doesn't have any of that. This one's more, it's fan based, so you really can't strengthen your fan group, right? The only thing you can do is strengthen the women on the game as your hero characters. That will then you can increase your follower count, which I'll go over that in future videos. But as far as replayability, I think it's kind of forced, because if you're not on and active and you start banking in a lot of monies, you're gonna find yourself getting into a situation where if you're not active and checking in, at least I would say every 4 hours or so, you will be attacked, especially if you're not part of my alliance. Because as a free-to-play player, basically, the only way you can get up, and the main thing on here is about having cash. You want to have a large amount of cash, and if you're always on, you can spend it super quick. If you're not active, you can see who's not active. Let me give you an example. Like this guy, not active. So let's go ahead and tear that back up. So if you're into attacking, as you can see, the playability and taking that booty, you can actually do quite well. So this one, I don't know if it's necessarily about kills, but it's all about plundering. And if you know me, that's my favorite thing to do, is to plunder. Ooh, took 2 billion off. So, like, this is what I was talking about. You lose troops here. Or in this case, you lose fans in this case. Obviously, the stronger your one thing I will say that you don't want to do is, like, you'll see these little green hash dotted lines around. As you continuously hit them, you'll see this one will go down. I'm going to hit it one more time after this. So it leaves it to where it doesn't completely kill it. See how that green bar went away? You'll see it again here on this one. And then you just leave it like that and then let it replenish. Don't kill it all the way, because then it'll shoot it somewhere else, and we don't like that. We don't like that. So I do like that fact that it gives you the instant gratification, and you get a little bit of bucks from it. Multiplayer features. It does have online connectivity. You have to be online. There is tons of players on here. You have your alliance or group that you're a part of against other groups, which then we all try to converge into the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop, like most of these games are. But working your way to the center, which once you get to this, you'll be the supreme lord, or mayor in this case, of this particular server. So the playability, I personally think it's no different than any other games that you've played in the past, if you played many of these. Updates and developer support. Regular content updates, bug fixing, and patches. The server maintenance happened last night, so I haven't really, like I said, I'm only 4 days in. I'm just doing the first week review on it. I will have a video on how I started, and I will put that out here. And it just shows the gameplay as I'm playing it, and I'll narrate going through the ways. As far as updates and developer support, you do have access to support here, which obviously you can see where it says server. I haven't used it, and I don't want to tap it just in case somebody comes on and be like, oh, sorry, I'm just doing a game review on your game. But if I do have a problem, I'll definitely reach out. So I don't know what the response time is. I think I'm just going to make up something and see what happens. And accessibility options, customizable controls, color binding modes. It really doesn't have that on here, to be honest with you. One thing I do like, it does have a Discord server. And I like the fact that I'm looking for the redeem codes. There is a redeem code out there, and I forgot, but it only gave you like 1,000 gems. But I'm gonna look that up and put out a list of all the ones that will work. So, as far as I can tell, the game is lacking in certain areas what I'm accustomed to. However, some of the things that you should look at, and I think this is... Oh, no, that's not it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. The only reason why I gave it a 4 out of 5 is when I first do a rating, you want to get the little gems or whatever they give you, just for that. But I put cool so far, meaning it's not wow. It's like, oh, I gotta play this game. It's interesting. It has some cool things. I need to take some time and really pay attention to it. So my game review altogether, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 stars, and it's gonna be for the main reasons of some of the things I do not like. I do not like the fact that you can only go one direction and you can't do multifaceted function abilities as you attack or as you're being attacked. It's very rudimentary, and I just think it's just because it's a brand new game, and I don't think they have a lot of structure in that regard. But for the most part, the visuals could be a lot better. But like I said, it's a newer game, so I know through time, if it stays, competitively active, it should do quite well. Now, it gets a 4.6 overall. When I was looking at them, so this guy doesn't like the stock ticker notifications. I mean, me personally, I love it, because in that way it makes you, I'm into stocks myself, so I kind of am a nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff, and this does give you a lot of information compared to what other games lack. So it's quite interesting on how that works out. So all in all, I give it a 4 out of 5. The jury's still out as far as that is concerned, but some of the things they can't control at the current moment is very, very poor graphics compared to other games. That functionality that I was telling you, being able to move your game left and right, or your troops, as they would say. I think that's one of the least favorite one out of the whole deal. And not that it would nix the deal for me. It's just you are what you're accustomed to, and I'm accustomed to different. Not necessarily better, just different. So that's why I would recommend this game to folks who want to play. If you want to come along with the ride, I can show you how to get to my server. If you're willing to, finagle, reach out to me in the comments or go to my Discord channel. I will have this on my Patreon. I think I'm going to do little spots. And like I said, I am going to still play this game. I have all my other games running all at the same time, so it wouldn't be a big deal. If you did try to reach out to me, hit me up on We Got Game on Discord or HiveBurners YT. This is KayBoss doing a game review on Top Girl, and I'm out.